Welcome back, Kuma Crew. I am, as always, Annakuma, and today we're diving into the RTS genre with a demo I was asked to look at through Keymailer called Earth vs. Mars. This game comes to us from Relic Labs. It is their first game on Steam, and the demo starts with a disclaimer saying that they hope to make small indie-based games like Earth vs. Mars to focus on different sub-genres and make lots of small games. Now, before people scratch their heads on why I'm covering an RTS game when I don't usually, well, I like them. It's as simple as that. You see, people think because they mainly see me playing point-and-click games or very story-heavy games that I don't play anything else. They also think because I can't name 10 games I grew up with that I probably am pretty new to gaming. Hell, even my friends sometimes get taken by complete surprise when I pipe up with, "Oh, I played this as a kid, I think," or "Oh, I really like that game." But the truth is, like a lot of 90s kids, I just played whatever damn game came my way. So, when I was offered the chance to play this one, knowing I have a few friends who still are very interested in the RTS genre in general, I thought I'd give it a go. Yes, the demo review series was originally going to be about point-and-click and puzzle games, but honestly, I just like demos, and the whole point was to point out how good demos still are, was contrasting them to what the final product is, if and when I find time to play the final product, which is a problem I have, but I'm hoping to get that sorted. Earth vs. Mars is fun though. That's your review. I just wanted to whine about people being surprised that I like any game that isn't point-and-clicky or really girly, which is also a wild and weird typecast I get when I look like this and act like a gremlin. Seriously, girly games? Let's talk about the game. There is a review here. Let's talk about it. This demo comes with 3 maps. I only played 2, mainly because I was reaching the 2-hour mark after completing the second one, because it took me way too long to do the city capture mission. Your first map is Downtown Showdown, which acts as a nice tutorial for the game. You basically have to wipe them out before they wipe you out. Then you have the second mission, which is Independence Bay, which is the aforementioned city capture mission, which really does introduce the importance of knowing what any given unit can and can't do, as well as how to deal with the UFOs. The one I didn't even look at is Hazy Hills, which introduces the nighttime combat and fog of war aspect. We also have a splice mechanic. You get to choose from 1 or 2 of your spliced units at the beginning of any campaign, but what are the splice units, you ask? So, in the demo, you have 3 creatures: a fly person, a cheetah person, and a rhino person. The demo does also tell you that there will be 10 creatures to pick from in the full game, which will also include eagle people, gecko people, and of course the most dangerous of all creatures, the axolotl people. Which leaves us with 4 other creatures yet to be announced. Each creature comes with its own unique stats, like the cheetah is faster than the others, or the fly does poison damage, and of course the rhino would be strong. You can splice your units with different DNA, giving them different buffs and debuffs, and then pick whomever you want to join in the battlefield. To splice, you need to have Atomic Essence, which I'm guessing is going to be end-level rewards in the full game, but in the demo they are nice enough to give you unlimited amounts to play around with as much as you want, which meant that poor John here became a splicing incident. Whoops. This is much like that poor creature Adrian Brody creates in Splice, which is a great film. You should watch it, but just be warned, it gets extremely weird like many Adrian Brody films do. Also, just to see if he's paying attention, look Lau, hexagons. He says he watches these videos, but I doubt he does. We'll see. If he replies about hexagons, he's watching. I'd also like to shout out that they do have color blindness correction and separated audio tracks in the options. There wasn't much speech in the demo, but as a deaf person who often finds a poor balance on the sound side of it leaves me not being able to hear voice lines, I really appreciate when they allow me to make it louder than anything else. So let's talk gameplay. One thing that I hope they change in the main game is the tutorial. It is just reams of text that, I'm not going to lie, I stopped really reading it at one point. I don't have ADHD that I know of, but I do have problems sometimes just sitting and reading a lot of stuff, especially things like tutorials. If it's a book and it's interesting, I'll read it. I still read books, I love them. But tutorials, I really need to be much more hands-on to understand it, and this was way too much text. That being said, the game is actually pretty simple to pick up anyway. Most of the stuff you're doing is on left click. When you left click on a unit, the areas that are marked are the ones that you can interact with. You'll click on a tile to move them around, then press wait to have them move. I don't really know why they picked wait as the word. I thought it would just have them, you know, sit on the tile that they are on and wait. I think confirm might be a better one to use. And if you just want them to sit still on that tile that they're already on and not move at all, then wait would be much less confusing in that situation. But for an idiot like me, it was very minor detail that kind of had me scratching my head for a couple seconds. You have various different units that have different movement speeds and abilities. You also have a commander that oversees the skirmish and gives you a special ability that when this gauge at the top is full, you can press it and it'll do whatever you want it to do. There are a bunch of different commanders that you can pick from. They all have 2 different skills. You can pick which commander and which skill you want at the beginning of every single skirmish. It is hard for me to pick anyone but Eric because look at this guy, he's so freaking cool. But I feel in the second map, I changed it a bit. And one of my biggest problems was I picked this guy with the absolute wrong skill, which made the game longer than it needed to be. So it is really about knowing what it is you're getting into and thinking ahead, which I really like, even if I'm poor at doing that. When you get the hang of it, then the game really moves at a good pace. I did sometimes wish that I could skip through the Martians' turn, or at least make it faster, but that's because I'm impatient. The 2 maps I was on weren't huge. They didn't have Fog of War, that comes later. They were open and easy to navigate, you could see what the Martians were doing, it was quite fun. The game will automatically choose the next person to move if you don't turn that option off in the menu. You can also just click off of them and pick whoever you want if you want to do it that way instead. If units get attacked and are low, you can combine groups to give them more health. Combat was great. You zoom into the 2 tiles the units are standing on, and they do correspond to the tiles that actually stood on the map. You then get these nice little 3D models of the units on the tile attacking each other, and I genuinely think it's a really well done combat sequence. Whilst I said I wanted the Martians' movement to go faster, I really enjoyed watching the combat, and that at least felt quick and to the point, but also very much hit home just how much the damage really meant when it comes to troops. For example, it is easy to forget that this unit only has 1 actual unit in it, but because it does only have that singular unit, it doesn't do any damage at all, whereas a full unit will do much more damage. It's a nice way of making you think strategically, because just bum rushing something isn't going to help if that unit no longer has any actual people in it. As for damage, it doesn't do percentage-based missed chances from what I can see. In fact, I don't think I missed at all. When you hover over any enemy which you want to attack, it will show you on the top how much damage you do, and then if the enemy can retaliate, how much they will do back. It even has this little skull if the retaliation can kill your unit, which I like. At the end of each turn, you make money. I believe it's based on how many buildings you have and or how many units are camped on those spaces. You then get to create a unit for every unit making base you have. I didn't really ever make a lot of money, so there were some interesting sounding units I never got to see, but it really is about thinking ahead. One of the reasons to capture the city scenario took me so long was because I was completely unaware of how important the attack helicopters were going to be in the second map. There's only 1 other unit that could attack the UFOs, and they are considerably slower than the helicopters, as well as landlocked. So, whilst those units were stuck on the left of the map doing very little damage to ground enemies, the UFOs were murdering everyone on the right, with me behind on helicopter production because I wanted to look at bigger tanks that, to be honest, weren't going to be helpful in this skirmish. Oh, and I guess the skill I took was to have a tank spawn for free, which again did not help when so much of the fighting was actually airborne, though I guess it did mean this one city that was kind of the big fight on my side to protect did end up getting well protected by random tanks and units, as the guys on the right bravely went it alone. As an overall package, Earth vs. Mars is a really fun game so far. This is just a demo build, but it gives you great hope that the full release will just be fun. It does some interesting things like the splicing mechanic, which will allow you to customize, I guess, your hero unit, but when it comes to the bare bones of the game itself, they made a tight package without trying to complicate the game, and it works. It also just looks amazing, and I really appreciate how pretty this game actually is. It reminded me of Mars Attacks, and I'm really down for that. So, if this review has interested you at all, please feel free to wishlist the game. Link to it will be in the description below as always. That is all from me today, though. If you want to continue to support this bear here, then please feel free to like this video, comment below on how surprised you are that I even know what RTS games are, and subscribe. Also, take a look at my Patreon, which is still very empty, so you'll probably click off of it again. But it is there. And then follow me over at twitch.tv/Annakuma, where it isn't empty, and I play games 5 days a week, and it's very fun. 100% fun all the time. Definitely not my chat picking on me all the time. 100% not happening. No. Till next time, though, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.